Okay, folks, welcome back to another fantastic edition of Opali Presents Know Your Pros. And today's guest, we have Abraham Miranda of Miranda Locksmith. And Miranda Locksmith, of course, is a locksmithing business that serves residential, commercial, and automotive clients here in Ventura County. Abraham himself is here in Oxnard, serves clients all throughout the county and beyond. Abraham, it is a pleasure to have you, my friend, on Know Your Pros.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Abraham, I wish I could have pulled clips from the hour and a half that we had to talk before we decided to finally start shooting this thing, man. We have a lot in common, and we both run businesses that were born out of the pandemic. And I'm here today to ask you about why you decided to launch your own locksmithing business. What sort of spurred that? Tell our viewers for us.
Well, I used to work for another locksmith business here in the area, and I got laid off in December of 2019. So I kind of talked it over with my wife, like, what are we going to do? Should I look for work somewhere else? It was sort of like unfortunate, right, to get laid off, especially because at the time I was working commission. So it was like 12 or 1 p.m. that day and hadn't gotten any calls. So I kind of thought, like, I guess maybe we're just not working today. And my boss showed up and said, today's the day, and picked up the van and I got laid off. So I was like, I kind of don't want to go through that again, right? Or have my livelihood at the mercy of somebody else. So we gave it a shot, bought a van that has since been totaled. But it went well. We decided to kind of stick to this one thing that I thought I was fairly good at, and took the leap of faith, registered the business, bought my equipment, and here we are a few years later. It's been going well.
So your why there, it sounds to me like a lot of pandemic business foundation stories, right? Like the why being that you didn't want to necessarily be beholden to somebody else. You wanted to start your own thing, and you went to something that you're really good at. I mean, we were talking about some of your aspirations for starting a milling company, and really getting into that fabrication side of the business. And there's so much to locksmithing that people don't really know about. So why then is it that locksmithing and all the stuff that comes with it is really attractive to you? Why do you get so much pleasure out of the work that you do?
Oh man. I kind of like the problem solving. Like I carry a little, my father-in-law did milling actually. And it's like a coincidence that I like it. But a lot of, like, basically the keys that people call laser cut, they're not really cut with a laser. They're basically milled. So I kind of like the problem solving that you're just, like, let's say a key's not working. You like measure it out. So, some situations you actually have to measure it out with a caliper or a Honda keys, for example. They're cut in two different ways, even though it's the exact same key blank. So I don't know, maybe I kind of like that aspect of the challenge of a physical object versus, like, I used to work at a furniture store. I don't think we had chatted about that. But while I love my boss there, best boss I ever had, shout out to Lisa. I didn't enjoy like that job. Whereas locksmithing, I just happen to be good at it and kind of enjoy the peaceful dealing with that one challenge that's not sentient. Whereas other areas of customer service are more like dealing with a person. And while I can interact well with people, I'm not a good salesperson. I realized I was good at rendering that service, a quality service, getting it done right. And I kind of enjoyed along the way, like the challenge of working with that lock, making it turn smoothly without feeling a little click. Yeah, I'd probably sum it up that way.
Well, you sound like a guy who really loves what he does, which, folks will tell you that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, of course, right? And who doesn't want a locksmith that not only loves what he does, but has a passion for what he does? And of course, why he does it. Working with your hands and kind of recognizing in yourself that you're maybe not a salesperson, but you're more practical in that sense is beautiful. And I'm sure it's what kind of drove you to found this business. I do want to get into the, why versus the competition here in a minute. But I wanted to sort of, you know, ask you as a bonus question, I guess, like with I'm looking at your van on the website right now, and I know that you're not running in a Sprinter anymore. You got the Ford Transit going on. But like with what you started here, what are kind of your aspirations beyond maybe running this thing on your own, or do you have any sort of thing that you want to turn Miranda into? I know you do commercial and you do residential. We're talking about security issues for commercial businesses. We're talking about residential stuff like rekeying homes or getting folks back into their houses. And then there's also vehicles, right? Key fob programming and different things like that. Is there anything in there that's like your most passionate thing? We've talked about cars already. Is that sort of the thing for you?
Definitely what I like the most. Like it's where I used to work, or actually a lot of places, they kind of shy away from European cars. So right now I'm kind of working with getting more access to OEM software and key codes with the NASTF or NASTF. And yeah, I think that would probably be the one that I enjoy doing. Why somebody, let's say, compared to someone else's, I'm not sure I understood that question. Could you restate it a little bit? I might have gotten distracted there.
No, that's all right, man. No, what I was gonna say, as my final question always is, hey, why is it that somebody should call Miranda Locksmith over any
Okay,
other?
that is what I thought I was gonna say, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if that's what you had worded. So I was like, am I answering this right? Like, well, to compare it, I guess, to other locksmiths, probably maybe like a PSA actually. There's that we didn't even chat about before, and I feel like I totally should have told you this. There are a lot of scammy locksmiths out there. There's a lot of fake locksmiths. Like the typical quintessential example there is there's a lot of probably like from LA, out of the county area, where they'll masquerade as a local. They'll even get like an 805 number. If somebody can't give you a quote up front, that should be a huge red flag. And if somebody tells you it's $20 to go out there, but I can't tell you what it'll be to do the job, that's an even bigger red flag, because that's usually how they like. I can't believe we didn't chat about this, because it happens a lot. Like somebody will be locked out and they'll tell me like, hey, I just called someone, and when they got here, they said this lock couldn't be picked and it was $300 to replace it. But on the phone, they had told me 20. There's a lot of scammy places out there. So why us? I'm very upfront. I'm very transparent. If somebody calls us with a vehicle, the reason that I do like vehicles, like we were chatting about, is as long as you tell me the year, make, and model. And if you have a key and looking for a copy, or if you lost them and you just need us to go out and make one, there's no reason why I wouldn't be able to give you a quote, or why anybody wouldn't be able to. So if you call somebody and they're kind of iffy with giving you a price, that should be a red flag. We're very transparent on that. Where I used to work, if let's say we did a job, like we went out to do a job, and for some reason we couldn't finish the job, they would still get charged for the trip, or at least part of the time, which is understandable. I totally get. But it, like, as the tech, it was difficult to tell somebody, I'm sorry we didn't solve your problem, but I'm going to charge you anyway. And why us? Well, we have a guarantee that if we don't complete the job, we don't charge you anything. It's kind of like we just bite the bullet on those. So I feel we set apart ourselves in that aspect, where we're very transparent with a quote up front. We offer a guarantee. If we're unable to complete the job or do what you hired us to do, we just simply don't charge you. And yeah, I guess I feel like that. I feel our prices are very competitive. I am licensed, background checked, fingerprinted, palm printed, have my contractor's license, business license, locksmith license. So we're very legit here, and I try to be fair with people too. So like if you're an average Joe, if you're just regular citizen out there who lost their keys, or locked their keys in their car, or locked themselves out of their home, I'm very fair with what we charge them. And then if you're a commercial business, which we have worked with, like multi-billion-dollar companies, like Bolero here in the collection. We did a lot of their locks. I actually didn't know they're like the largest bowling company in the nation. They require us to have a certain level of insurance. They require us to have our contractor's license. And while we don't price gouge them, if you're requiring that from us, then you get charged for it. We don't charge those prices for somebody who locked themselves out of their car because realistically, they don't require us to do that. So we're very fair with our pricing. We're very transparent with our communication. We're very upfront, and always offer a warranty and a guarantee on our job. So I'd say that definitely is why somebody should call us versus somebody else, or sets us apart. Hope that answers your question.
I mean, like, yeah, I'm sitting here with my little pen and paper, like checking all the boxes here of why somebody should call Miranda Locksmith, and I think you checked 10 additional ones on the side too. You purport yourself, right, online as the friendly neighborhood locksmith, but I talk so much on this show about businesses that are those fly-by-night companies that will potentially take you for a ride or not deliver on what exactly it is they're promising. And I love that about your business. It's something that I could sense from the moment that I first met you, that here's a guy who runs a friendly, transparent, reputable business. The reviews say a lot, certainly, about your company, which is great. So before we wrap this thing up here, Abraham, tell our viewers where they can find you. How can they engage with Miranda Locksmith should they ever need you or run into an emergency where they need something?
All right, probably the easiest way is to call us. It's just quicker. I'm the one that answers the phone, so I have 9 years experience in this. Any issues that they have, I'll be able to tell them up front on the phone. 805-420-2525. That's 805-420-2525. They could also reach us by email, mirandalocksmith7166@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram, and we have a website, mirandalocksmith.com. So those would probably be at least we're on Yelp as well. So if you find us on Yelp, you can see our reviews there.
Yeah.
Always very honest with everything, very transparent.
Beautiful. Yeah. And unlike other businesses, Abraham tells me that he doesn't even ask for his Yelp reviews, and he's got over 100, which is fantastic. So that's great. Everything that Abraham just mentioned, though, folks, is going to be in the description of this video. So check out all of his links. Google the guy. If you're looking for a locksmith, just Google Miranda Locksmith. If you search Ventura Locksmith, Oxnard Locksmith, Camarillo, Thousand Oaks, you name it, Abraham, more than likely, is going to pop up. And he's a pro. He is a pro. I'm totally blasting my own outro here, but he's a pro that you want to know. This is why we do it, to have professionals on our show, to profile them and show off their businesses. So Abraham, that's all the time we've got, man. Thank you so much for being a part of this here today.
Thank you. It was an honor and a privilege. Thank you.
Know your pros.